how many solar panels they need and even where they want the panels to go. Most folks prefer it on the roof, but some don't.
We frequently get asked about solar on the ground or even on a separate solar structure like a carport or a lean-to that comes off the house.
Call Broker Solar. Call them now, 803-807-7417 or online, brokersolar.com.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Republican lawmakers say numerous insiders within the Biden White House need to be held accountable. That for the former president's actions and health issues. Search continues in and around New Orleans for 5 inmates who broke out of jail a week ago. Now officials say as many as 11 people may have aided those prisoners. As the Senate takes up consideration of the House-approved Trump bill, American Majority CEO Ned Bryan says he doesn't anticipate too many hurdles.
I honestly don't see there being much of a problem of this big, beautiful bill being passed in the Senate. I think there'll be some quibbles over Medicaid. I think there'll be a few conversations about, do we split this into 2 bills? But I think at the end of the day, it's in their own self-interest to actually get this bill passed.
Also, townhall.com memorial
time to made the ultimate sacrifice.
To the murder of Israeli citizen Yeren Lashinsky and American Sarah Milgram, who worked at the Israeli embassy in Washington.
But this horror hits even closer to home. We have learned that the attacker lives in Chicago and was likely radicalized right here in our city.
Chicago Alderwoman Deborah Silverstein. The suspect, Elias Rodriguez, told police he did it for Gaza. His online posts had recently become fixated on the war in Gaza. David Goldenberg with the Anti-Defamation League.
The Capitol Jewish Museum attack was an act of pure, unadulterated anti-Semitism. Full stop.
I'm Jennifer King.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Funds around the country are beginning to grow a little higher.
Some homeowners are in the middle of No Mow May. It means ditching this for a month. The idea is to let grass and flowers grow, free of interference. Jason Sprouse is with Tennessee's Cumberland River Compact.
Leaving your lawns to restore themselves to how they want to naturally function.
Amanda Beltran Minnie Heelan in Nashville started small and slowly let more of her yard grow tall without mowing.
Many new plants show up and how much healthier that soil is.
And the movement has expanded into Let It Bloom June. I'm Ed Donahue.
And No Mow pros, cons, and limitations have been written by consumer horticulture extension specialist Aaron Steele. He is with the Iowa State University. More on these stories at townhall.com.
In many countries around the world, medical care is scarce. From birth defects to serious injuries and illnesses, countless millions have no access to safe surgery. Mercy Ships is there to help with a team of volunteer professionals, nurses, surgeons, utilizing state-of-the-art services.
People that need help, you realize that they have no way of getting help, and I want them to know that they're loved.
Help make a lasting impact and turn someone's fear into joy. Find out how you can help by visiting our website at mercyships.org for more information. That's mercyships.org.
After the many moons of doing this program or some sort of iteration of it, from Saturdays to Sundays to filling in on afternoon drives and stuff, always the greatest possible love out there. And talking about the great folks, come get it at Saunders Kindle and his band Dan Count. And this goes into Memorial Day. And the big thing, and this is after my many moons, many circuits around the sun. One of the things that I respect the most is stuff that I'm unwilling to do. So law enforcement people, first responders, otherwise people that run into buildings that are on fire, people that do all those things, I really, really, really respect them because it's something I'm unwilling to do. Now, we don't have the draft. We do have selective service, but we don't have the draft right now. And I think we just lost Instagram or something. Something happened. We'll figure out what that is. But yeah, just wild stuff. I think we just lost it. That is crazy. Let's see here. I really hate to break the wall here. 95% battery. You should be good on that. But yeah, so the people that do things that I can't do, I really respect it. People that by choice do those things that I have chosen not to do, I really, really respect that stuff. And Dangerous Kindle in that song. So if we pot it back up, it's over. Let's go here. But he wrote that song, and his band recorded that song, and he put out a CD, and I went to see him in concert, and he sang the song. So that is somebody doing stuff that I am incapable of doing, which is a big deal. But even if you look at the history of my family, lots and lots of military stuff. Those people, many of them drafted did not have a choice in the Great Wars and the War of Northern Aggression, all those things. War of 1812, there was a garrison there. Lots and lots of the War of Northern Aggression. We were on both sides of that one, but it's a big deal. It's a huge big deal. One of the biggest, and so many, just like people in the sandbox wars. I had a patient of mine, and this guy was a drill instructor. And he did like 3 tours in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan. This guy was tough. I mean, just crazy tough. Let's see if we hit that again. Crazy tough. Absolutely crazy tough. And on his bicep, he had a they looked like 7.62 by 39 or 51, I guess, or whatever the 308 cartridge is, or the NATO equivalent. And each one had some letters written, had words written in it. And I said during a meeting, "Hey, what's the deal with that?" And he said the truth, which was, "Those are all my buddies that didn't make it back." And that happens. There are lots and lots of folks that never make it back. And sometimes it's a problem on a training exercise. Sometimes it's a faulty piece of equipment. Sometimes it's an act of terrorism. Sometimes, hey, every 130,000 hours, we lose somebody. And then there's the direct aggression, the war fighting part. So it's a big deal. It's absolutely a big deal. And why is America got to show us all the stores that are on sale? Yeah, well, that's there. But they perverted Christmas, so of course they're going to pervert Memorial Day too. But it's a really big deal. And if you've got the military pictures of members of your family, members of people you love, get them out. Look through them. Think about it. It is sort of a big deal. I mean, and it is a really, really big deal. And I hope, and this is when we're going to cross into the political stuff. I hope that the American men and women that serve in our military, I hope that they are happy with the current leadership in our country. I'm hopeful that they like and understand the Secretary of Defense. I'm hopeful that they understand the president, the vice president, and their commitment to the American people. And this is a different, something happened this last election series that has never happened before. And that is, we had actual people, real people that are the sort of the ultimate arbiters of what happens. The president and future president, future vice president at the time, and people on the Trump team. And when Pete Hegseth got the nod, he started talking about something very important, and that is to make the American military the most lethal military on the planet. We'll be right back. Give me a shout, 803-799-8255.
Lots of plumbing companies out there, truly local. Time to discover the difference with Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. See, when I faced plumbing woes at the Cohen home, Josh and his dedicated team, well, they were my go-to solution. They make a commitment to exceptional service. They arrived on time, clearly detailed all the costs and procedures, and efficiently handled all my repairs without any surprises. These days, how often do we complain about a lack of customer service out there? With Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, these folks are professional. They're courteous. They're skilled at what they do, and they've earned my trust, and they've earned my recommendation to you. From urgent repairs to the tankless water heater you've always wanted, they've got you covered. Visit franklinplumbing.sc.com or call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Hey, you tell them Kev sent you from The Point. I'm pretty sure you'll want to thank me later.
You've got the power to take control of how your energy works for you, the power to use less energy without giving up comfort. Dominion Energy has tools, tips, and programs to help you save your way. Get started at dominionenergy.com/savings.
You can count on hot summers in the Midlands.
You can count on those South Carolina roads biting.
And when you end up with a broken windshield, you can certainly count on Absolute Glass.
With one phone call, we can repair, replace, and recalibrate your car's windshield.
We'll handle the insurance calls, and for most folks, it won't cost you a dime to let us fix your windshield.
Absolute Glass has been voted Lexington's best for 15 years straight.
So call Absolute Glass at 951-7200.
Or find us online at absoluteglassinc.com.
And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
An issue where there's probably 6 or 7 or 8 companies around me. Plus, I bring my own. Say, hey caller, how are you?
Dr. King, happy Sunday. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, David, Professor de los Ciencias?
Well, I just enjoyed watching Upper Conway, Lower Aner in what I call the transcocks because I had to tell someone just yesterday. I said, there's no such thing as a lady gamecock.
I guess. I think there's some folks in the Philippines. They call them lady boys. So are the transcocks really lady boys?
That's what I'm going to start calling the transcocks. So.
The transcocks. Go transcocks.
Yeah. Gene, you talk about tomorrow being on Memorial Day, and it's hard not to think about. I know Democrats that call this show don't want to think about it, but it's hard not to think about the 13 families that
the Abbey Gate
unfortunately has a more special meaning to them.
Now wait. Well, let's be honest about this. So there was a counter insurgency team, and the lead sniper had identified the suicide bomber, and said, "That's the guy. I can take him.
Right.
That's the guy. I can take him. That's the guy. I can take him." And running these war zones from Washington doesn't work because they didn't take him.
Right.
And it was directly the fault of the Pentagram and the White House.
And whoever was running the auto pen.
Right.
And, you know, I heard just a weak excuse of, well, so what? 13 died. 2,300 died during the war. Well, here's my analogy to that. That was like part of the job, per se, and everything. I might fly missions.
I'm going to do big boy battle stuff.
Right, but totally different, but not totally, I guess, different, but different analogy I'd like to make is, let's say those 13 soldiers were headed back to home, and a pilot, you know, was flying them and was just way inebriated. I mean, just gone, skonkered, you know, Hunter Biden level, coked out, everything. And he crashed and killed them. Would someone say, well, yeah, 300 died? This was a very
unforced error.
Yeah.
Like if they had just arrived home and they were walking to their a van or whatever to go to wherever they were returning home to, and some drunk pops up on the curb and runs them over.
Right. So these 13 died because someone made a decision to do something stupid. I mean, that's what you boil it down.
Right.
He wanted it out by a certain day. You don't. I mean, like Kevin said, we're not military people, but even we know you don't do civilians last. I mean, there's a perceived order of how you get.
No, the military. That's the last that come out, and all the embassy staff is gone, and the ambassador takes the flag. You know, we did this all backwards.
And so to say, oh, well, these 13 died, but so what? We had 2,300 other died. You know, that it's a non sequitur. It's totally non sequitur. I mean, one of those have nothing to do with the other. This was preventable. Those were, again, I hate to say it, but part of the job. You sign up for the fact you might go into battle and do things like this. You don't sign up for the fact they might go, hey, you know what? We're going to do it backwards. We're going to take you guys out last, or take you guys out first and everything, and do it just totally a botched way because. And I'll never forget. You can find it. You know, like when I always tell people, oh, I bet people don't remember saying such and such. Well, the internet remembers.
Yeah.
So I know it's out there somewhere where he said, well, two of my generals do it this way, and two.
No. Everybody agreed. Nobody even said his thing became everybody agreed. Nobody thought that this was a bad idea.
Right, but then I think when they actually were talked to, they're like, no, we didn't say this.
Nobody wanted to do it this way. He forced our hand.
Wanted it to be out. Yeah, he wanted it to be out by 9/11 as sort of a, anniversarial type thing, whatever. He didn't care, how it was done, how badly it was done. And
no, the narrative makers were the ones that were driving the ship. And they said, we're going to do this. It sounds good. Let's end this at exactly 25 years or whatever the magic number was. So that's why they did it. They did it for expediency. They did it for a hook. They did it for the narrative, not for any reason to do it.
Right. And all you hear is, well, Trump didn't get him out, but he was going to get him out the right way. Remember when he had that meeting? And I don't know if it was him or somebody else. They pulled out a piece of paper with a map on it, or
Abdul. Why did you
live?
Yeah, why did they give me this?
Yeah, he's like, I know where you live, and he would have done things the right way. He would not have let them in charge and everything. So it's like I told you one time many years ago, I guess. But it's like if Trump had a plan to build a building, and he had all the plans ready to go, nothing had been done yet, but he had the plan. And then Biden comes in and says, hey, let's make all these drastic changes to the building. And then they build it and it collapses. And he says, well, it was Trump's plan.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now once you changed it, it became yours.
Right.
So this is all on Biden, or again, whoever was using the auto pen, nothing to do with Trump. And for 13 soldiers to die that way, so needlessly, so preventably, is just horrible. So those 13 families tomorrow should not be grieving as much as they are, because it's more personal to them than it should be. And I hope we never forget that. I know time kind of smooths things out and we don't think about things like that, but I always do. Anytime I think of Biden, that's one of the first things I think of is those 13 families now. that welcomes a coffin home instead of their family member. And
No, it's
so,
just catastrophically. I mean, it just a nightmare. It's absolutely a nightmare. And none of them signed up to be wasted. None of them signed up to be thrown away.
Right. I'll tell you another thing. There's a radio station I listen to out of Philadelphia that
WPHT.
Yes.
Yeah.
WPHT, yes.
Yeah, I'm becoming a fan.
Yeah. So, well, it was funny. They now have a Fight Club segment. And I was telling them forever. It's like you guys, like, they had one was like a Carnival Cruise fight and one was a Golden Corral and everything.
With Spirit Airlines, is that going to be one?
Well, it's not really Fight Club until there's a Waffle House one. I said, you guys you need to start at the top. I said, there's no fight like a Waffle House fight, but yeah, they do that. But oh my gosh, I forget where. Oh yeah, I know where it's going. So they had a segment one day. They called it Doctors of Deceit, and had all these quotes from Fauci, and they had people like Rachel Madcow and everything talking about get the shot. If I remember right, I can pull up the tape. But
no, she goes through and says, look, what it does is it stops. So it stops with you. It stops with you. This is how we're going to kill this. It will stop with you.
Yep. I mean, basically, you will not get it if you get this shot. You will not spread if you get this shot. And they've all backtracked on that. There's people who call this show that believe all that nonsense. You don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. It really is heartbreaking. And when because I have a different relation, in my job, I have a different relationship with people, and we talk about things, in their lives and in their families' lives, and to a smaller degree, my stuff. And there's lots and lots of people that are like, oh yeah, my daughter got the shot, and now she's had to have 4 ablations. She can't stop bleeding every month. Right. She bleeds like crazy. It used to be, we were actually concerned. It used to be sort of scant. Now she's almost bleeding out every month. There's a whole bunch of stuff downstream. And the second that you go, I'll give you an example. I have a relative of mine that until a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago, I had never met. And we're supposed to meet 3 years ago, but he's like, oh, I got to have a series of eye surgeries and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's no big deal. I'll be coming back out. And so we'll just push it back a year. So the next year I went and I spent about 4.5 hours with him at a breakfast and just talked and found out a whole bunch of stuff that, one of our relatives was a guy with the last name of Welch. He was Secretary of the Navy. I thought that was sort of cool. He's got a hole in his retina, secondary to COVID vaccination. And I said, is it established as causal? And he goes, look, I got the best eye doctor in Northern California, and he's got at least 7 of us. It's causal. Now, when you start throwing, and this goes for diabetes and other stuff, we need especially with type 2 diabetes, we need to be talking about, you're going to go blind. It will make you go blind. But when they say stuff, well, it's going to increase your risk of heart attack and stroke, you go, well, everybody dies of a heart attack or stroke or cancer or something. Yeah. That's no big deal. But if they say, hey, it's going to steal your sight, you might be a little bit more careful about your management. If they say you're going to go blind, and that's always been the case, but nobody's using that hammer. I tell you what, if they put, hey, you're going to lose sight in at least one of your eyes, or that is a reasonable thing to have happen, I would go, that's too much risk. I think I'll wait that one out. And of course, thank God I did.
Well, I totally think people should, if they want to get it, that's fine. I do think the risks need to be, talked about truthfully and everything. But my biggest problem has always been, and there are people that call this show that supported this, get it or go to jail.
Yeah.
Get it or lose your job.
Get it or no insurance. Hospital.
Right. There was a restaurant here over there. I'm glad to say over there. There was a restaurant over in Columbia that I don't know if they still do, but at least as of a couple years ago, it was papers, please. You need to show me that you got the shot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you couldn't go there. And I won't name them, but they did. And I just kind of mocked that. I was like, the little chance I had.
All right, hold on, David. Telephone number here is 803-799-8255. That's 799-TALK on the Groucho's Deli in-studio hotline.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. A 28-year-old U.S. German citizen has been arrested, that for attempting to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Israel. Joseph Neumeyer has now been returned to the United States. Ukrainian officials say a huge Russian drone and missile attack targeting the country for a second straight night, leaving at least 18 people dead, wounded many dozens more. Officials say a lot of those victims were civilians. A majority of Americans say former President Joe Biden was not mentally and physically capable of serving as President of the United States during his final year in office. That survey finds 58% of American voters across party lines did not think that Biden was fit to run the country. This is SRN News.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven-baked hoagies, fresh, crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks, y'all, and God bless.
Do you like trivia? Do you like pizza? You're going to love Thursday nights at the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. That's right. Mellow in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington have live hosted team trivia every Thursday night. Trivia buffs of all ages can compete for mellow cash and swag in our fun and funky digs, while enjoying specials on amazing pizza, apps, sandwiches, salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Live hosted trivia at the Mellow Mushroom every Thursday at 7 in the Vista and at 6:30 on Sunset in Lexington.
We're going to come right here to our friend David, the Professor de los Ciencias. Thanks for holding on, David.
Yeah, the other part of Doctors of Defeat was kind of what they talked about during the break there, is the whole Biden mental inability and everything, and, how you don't basically get to where he is cancer-wise, as your first diagnosis. Like, that was hidden from us.
All right, now I'm going to stop you for a second, because some of the other things that we're interested in, the excuse is, can you imagine how big that conspiracy would have to be for you to be able to do these things? Can you imagine all the people that would have to keep quiet for that to continue? Can you imagine what it would take to steal a national election in the United States? David, can you imagine all the people that could be forced to keep quiet, like our adversarial system? Everyone in the news media that was on the left-hand side, everyone that had access to the president, all the little minions. And remember, South Carolina is a largely Republican state, largely traditional and conservative, right? There were Democrats in my great city. You've now crossed the river to Milk and Honeyland, but they knew too. So when you say, when you use the excuse, two people can't keep a secret, so there's no way that could have happened. But think of all the people, all the way down into the precinct and box level. Think of all those people that would have to be. You can't do that. Don't. You are a fool. You are a fool to even suggest that many people could keep quiet about something, and then you find out, oh yeah, chief executive of the country, totally incompetent, didn't know anything, and everybody in attendance knew it.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, now they're trying to like backtrack it with Jake Typeform and everything, or trying to recant everything. And gosh, I can't believe he was so incompetent and everything.
Oh, they tricked us.
No
Ooh, they tricked us.
Yeah, they that's right. That's what he said, because they really slickered us, and
we got snookered.
So,
we got hoodwinked. We got bamboozled.
Hey, let's do a line from one of our favorite callers. It was just a con. It was a big like a con.
That's right. He was totally con. Everybody knows he's a con man. He's always been a con. I mean, for everything.
Yeah. Hey, and by the way, I'm going to talk about something that's probably one of those, like, thou shalt not, but I'm going to anyway.
Hey, we got nothing but time. This is on a lot of our usual subjects or suspects are a lot of our usual suspects are celebrating with their family and maybe away. 3-day weekend's sort of a big deal for most of us. They're away, so they don't get to play in the sandbox. So there's not really much that's off limits.
Well, can you imagine if things were reversed with this whole thing about the two basketball players, where one trashed the other and basically used her race in her trashing of it? Could you imagine if it was reversed? How awful that would be.
They'd be freaking out. Everybody would be freaking out. And now here's a test about the WNBA. Oh, well, I think I like the women. I like our. What's the name of a team you follow?
I can't name it myself.
No, I can't. I know there's because they got weird names. Now, if you say like a city, and that doesn't count because that's not the team name. But they got all sorts of weird names. And of course, every on the college side, I want everybody to do great. It's I have this thing, and it's wrong, but the only time I get to watch television stuff is when it's ported a clip or something through the internet for some other provider.
Yeah.
And I say with like the WNBA or women's college basketball, and she doesn't have to be the star,
right?
But just have one pretty one on the team, just one, just one, just one objectively pretty. I mean, these are especially on the college side. These are that is the pool of the most attractive Americans. There's got to be one that can throw the ball. There's got to be one that can dribble. There's got to be a 3-point queen out there that you go, wow, look at her.
Well, Dean, I got to run real quick, but the last point I want to make real quick is I hope by the time you have your show next week, it'll be June. So I hope you'll have your MAGA hat in rainbow colors because of this June. So please, virtue signal like everyone else will be. So I expect to see that on the live stream.
All right. Well, I'm wearing.
Later if I get a chance.
All right. Well, the second once an hour. That's you're welcome back, and we'll get to you when you come back. But yeah, another radio person here last week showed me that this other radio person had gone to a Charlie Kirk event at the University of South Carolina and had signed up and got his free 47 gold MAGA hat. And I was like, hey, that's sort of cool. That is really, really cool. But we're going to jump right to the phones and say, hey, caller, how are you? I think laugh counts. So it must be you.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, what's going on there, Super Tim?
How's it going?
Actually, things are really good, and so we have you. And let's talk why Tim is so special. Tim is a world traveler. Tim is a guy that has been places and seen things. Tim is a guy that's been in the military, so he has a couple of extra little hooks about how things really work, and it's always appreciated when he peels back the layers of the onion and tell us how it really is.
Well, I appreciate the accolades. I was just listening to David here a little while ago, David Scientist. I was thinking, I won't be surprised at all that he's going to get his Ashley Babbitt memorial stuff set up.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that this thing, but gosh, and here's a question for you, Tim. Even if so she was what? Was she in her 30s or is she older than that?
Probably older.
She might low 40s, maybe 42 or something. Maybe I guess we could look it up. But Mr. Producer, no. So imagine that you're the parents of somebody that died in that way. How can you accept the story when the guy that shot your daughter is such an incompetent law enforcer?
Yeah, well, I heard the explanation over and over before, and I think these conspiracy theorists just need to sit down and realize.
No, the whole thing was on video. They had Nat X or whatever his name was, the Antifa guy. He recorded a video that he sold to CNN, I think, for $70,000 or $80,000. So it was I mean, not only did they have the super secret stuff from every camera that I haven't seen that put together for Ashley Babbitt, but we had a guy right there that recorded the thing.
Yeah, I saw the video too. Yeah, I saw the video too, and to me, she looked very hostile, threatening, and dangerous. And I think that the officer or policeman did the right thing in that situation because
really,
no
warning. I mean, we didn't even get the hands up, don't shoot. We didn't even get that. We got nothing.
Yeah, there was a warning. Matter of fact, there were others behind her.
Right, there's a SWAT team right behind her, and they were just hanging out.
No. I'm saying other people that are trying to get in there saw the guy had a gun, and they stopped. They said, "Oh, hey, he got a gun. He's got a gun."
No, he was hiding behind furniture that was stacked up on the other side of the thing. I don't know if they saw that he had a gun. I think that you should always assume that uniformed or ununiformed officers are going to be armed.
You're not going to walk on a SAC Air Force Base and overrun an Air Force Base at SAC Air Force Base and not have no consequences. You know
all right. I got a story for you. I got a quick story for you, Tim. So a buddy of mine, and you might have heard this guy if you've listened to South Carolina radio a lot. My radio partner for many, many years until he died was Dr. Charles Campbell. And his brother, Bill Campbell, was working, I think, at Nellis Air Force Base. And he was a low-ranking guy. And I don't know, at this point in his career, he's a low-ranking guy. And so that's a SAC base, I think. Well, anyway, they had airplanes with nuclear weapons on board, ready to go, all the time, 24/7. And so this contractor, military contractor, with avionics or something like that, had all this stuff, and he's like, "I got to get on the airplane." And my buddy's brother said, "Hey, I need some sort of permission to let you on the airplane." And the guy tried to push by him, and he had an M1 carbine, and he had it across his body in both hands. And when the guy tried to walk around him, he hit him in the face with the butt of the rifle and broke his jaw. And there was a big hullabaloo about that, and there was some discipline. But that guy did the right thing. Because
he did.
With some things, you can't play. So in the case of this law enforcer, Bird, I think he did the wrong thing. And I think he was prone to do the wrong thing. And, it's very disappointing that all that stuff happened. But
Okay. Well, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Yeah, it's a sad thing that she's dead. But like even Kevin said, she put her it's her own responsibility. She put herself there. She came to the building.
Yep, so welcome in by the police out front.
Now, good when you can walk in any federal building anywhere in Columbia about ID. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a question. Here's a good question, Tim. Wait, all right, we're going to take a quick break. Wait, we got to have a choice here. We're going to take this break, and we'll be back with Tim, and then I think we have another caller on deck. You can be too. 803-799-8255.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia. When I stop by a cigar store, I always look for my go-to cigars and stock up a few of those, but I also look for something I've never tried before. Well, at the Cigar Militia, we specialize in a lot of small boutique cigar manufacturers. Come in and try a Don Kiki by Karen Berger or a Makaji by Ty Williams. We are the Cigar Militia at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard. Help us out, stock up, and review some of our boutique brands.
Energy powers every moment, from the sizzle of breakfast to a warm bath at night. That's why Dominion Energy offers tools and tips that help make saving energy easier. Spend less time thinking about your power and more time enjoying what it powers. It's your energy, and it should work for you. Get started at dominionenergy.com/savings.
If you step onto H&J Cattle's farm, you'll find third-generation farmers upholding the legacy. They embrace sustainability and take immense pride in their craft, raising cattle purely on nature's offerings, without growth hormones, antibiotics, or animal byproducts. The result? Unmatched quality beef that's not just good, it's the best in South Carolina. Experience the distinct flavor of our finest registered Hereford and Wagyu beef. Visit us online at HandJCattle.com or on Instagram and Facebook at H&J Cattle.
Step into summer with no unwanted guests in your home.
At Modern Exterminating Company, we're not just experts in pest control, we're your neighbors.
Glenn and Melanie Matthews here. Modern Exterminating has been part of this community since 1955, offering unmatched experience with the family touch.
Trust us to keep your home pest-free with care and dedication that only a local family-owned business can provide.
Experience the Modern Exterminating difference. Call us at 765-2315 or visit pestfreesc.com.
Let us keep your home truly yours.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Crazy music. Man, I have these flashbacks, these college radio flashbacks.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, it is. It's good, and that's all about the X-Files. Remember the X-Files? What a great. So I haven't had television in our house for gosh, he's 15. So in more than 15 years, we've not had television in our house. And truthfully, I really don't miss it. But there's some things I'm like, wow, the X-Files is a really good series to watch. And this was, there's a handful of things that's really good, but most of it is just garbage.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And poison, garbage and poison. And that includes the news, too.
Well, actually, not all news. You got to just kind of sift through it.
Yeah, but not everybody has access to Al Jazeera to get decent news. Not everybody has access to RT. Not everybody has access to Le Monde. Not everybody has access to the Daily Mail or the Tory Graph or any of these things. Not everybody's willing to look at a foreign newspaper in the country you're concerned about to find out what's going on in the country. But you can.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's how I got my eyes open as I travel, to different countries in my lifetime, But regarding the Ashley Babbitt thing, when they say that, the White House and all that stuff is the people's house, they don't mean that literally. And
you can't advertise it that way for a couple hundred years, and then hey, the people are here. And they want to talk to you too.
They assume that they have a minimum amount, they assume that they have a minimum amount of intelligence, And I was watching TV, and I watched it. I said, I can't believe it. There's hundreds of that many dum-dums out there, man, just walking in there with the iPhones and taking pictures and wow.
That's it. They were staying on the right side of the velvet rope. Yeah. They actually cleaned up for other people. These were just these were regular Americans.
Well, not all of them did. Some of them left a souvenir for Nancy Pelosi on her desk.
Well, truthfully, with what she's been giving us, I don't think we can ever truly repay her for what she's done to the country.
Yeah, maybe so, but not her office.
Steaming hot. One of the crazy things is that after Nancy Pelosi lost the majority in the House, and then Kevin McCarthy was there, Kevin McCarthy still allowed Nancy Pelosi and I try to think of his name. He's the guy from Maryland, Steny Hoyer. Allowed them to keep offices.
Yeah, no, it's kind of
wasn't that shocking to you? I'm like that would have been like the next day. I said, hey, there's not an office for former speaker, and there's not an office for former whip or majority leader or whatever. Hey, y'all need to get the stuff out of there. We've got real business to take care of, and those folks need that offices. But didn't you? Wasn't that totally shocking? I know, especially in the Senate, I know there's lots of people that really like each other, and they do things together, and they talk together, and they share they sell secrets and things, and they know each other's families and stuff. So there's some degree of collegiality there. But after you lost, come on, you need to move on out. That's like, hey, we sold the building that, and you knew it was going to be sold, and your apartment rent is over. You were supposed to be out. You need to go. Same type thing. But I was really surprised at that, Tim. And that's one of the things I did not really mind his ousting.
Who's that?
That'd be Kevin McCarthy, when Kevin McCarthy got booted by the Matt Gaetz insurgency.
Well, anyway, the fact is, both sides are highly corrupted, and like I said, we need a third party now, and I don't know why David don't think that Trump is the answer. I know a lot of y'all do.
Well, for a while he's the answer. For 4 more years, he's the answer.
Well, he had 4 years to get us out Afghanistan.
And he came up with a plan and was pursuing it, and it was much like Nixon's ending the Vietnam War with dignity. He had a plan, and the first thing that happened when our friend Sleepy Joe, who was actually, we're not saying that he was, Sleepy Joe is about the nicest thing we can say about President Biden. And
he wasn't patriotic though.
I don't know. I don't know. Remember the watch looking as the bodies are coming off the aircraft. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but Trump
yeah.
didn't even acknowledge. Yeah, well, Trump didn't acknowledge either on soldiers. Matter of fact, he called soldiers losers and stuff, and didn't know what was in it for them. He made dry statements about upset people all the time. So.
Well, it's okay to make statements about militants and stuff, but to make the same comment about American soldiers is different. And I thought that's where you're going to that.
He's talking about soldiers. He's criticizing. He can't understand why anybody would join the military. And
do you know why the recruitment goals are instantly being met in the last 4 months?
How's that?
All the recruitment goals are being met because so many people were holding back because their grandfathers and their dads were military people, and they said, "Hey, I love that you want to serve your country, but not under this chief executive. Not under this chief executive." I mean, that's not. I mean, you have some connection to that. There were people saying, "Not now. Don't come here now. This is not. You do not want to be a part of this now."
Yeah, well, the president is not really the military. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you shouldn't have put your life on hold for one leader who's only going to be in there for 2 terms at the most.
Yeah, well,
I hate that Bush was in there when I was in. But
how was on second on how about this with the passage of time? Looking back at Bush, was it Bush 41 or 43?
43.
Is W?
W the son, right?
Yeah. So how did you rate? How did you rate his leadership of the U.S. military? He's pretty good. I mean, he's a warmonger for sure.
Well, yeah. You use them, Yeah, bad.
Bad. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Okay. Well. Okay, Bush was a follower basically. Both of them were actually, but the son, he was a follower, and he got caught with neocons and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, gosh, is Darth Cheney is the, I guess the only Darth Cheney would have to change his name to Irving Kristol, be reanimated, go back through his communist phase before he could be the number one neocon in America.
Yeah, I mean, so. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all this stuff is just crazy. It's absolutely crazy how we are and all the things that we have to do. That these people are the standard bearers. That Bill Kristol is now a Democrat. Lizard Cheney. Like a lot of them, because it's not about principle, it's about expediency. And, it's
these guys don't believe what they stand for anyway. So I'm saying, I mean, all these guys are basically are prostitutes, and the guy, what's the guy name? Pete
Hegseth.
I do have a problem. Yeah, I do have a problem with that statement he made that you're trying to make America the most lethal force in the world.
All right, so so this goes back to a Limbaugh thing, and I think, oh my goodness, we'll speed up here, Tim, and then now we have 2 callers on after you, Tim. We'll get them on in the next. Oh my goodness, it's another hour. All right, we'll be right back.
People hear me talking about Broker Solar and how much I like Ken and his team. They ask, hey, can I really trust this guy, Kev? Let me tell you 2 things. Number 1, Ken and Broker Solar are legit. I've known Ken's family for 20 plus years. Seriously, these are local, ethical people. They're not going anywhere, and they do things the right way. Number two, Broker Solar is so different than these stereotypes we've heard about in the solar industry. There's no signs on the yard making stupid promises they can't keep. There's no door knockers trying to pressure you at your own door. Ken and Broker Solar will tell you the truth, what it'll cost, and how your solar power investment will pay off. See, we can't pick our power companies. Broker Solar gives you a chance to take some control over your power bill, and I like that, and so should you. Online, it's brokersolar.com, and seriously, reach out to Ken and these folks. It could really make a difference in your quality of life. Brokersolar.com, empowering you so you're not powerless.
The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. A U.S. German citizen has been arrested, that for attempting to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Israel.
Federal prosecutors in New York say Joseph Neumeyer was arrested in Israel and brought back to the U.S. over the weekend to face charges he tried to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv on May 19th. They say he went to the embassy with a backpack containing Molotov cocktails, but got into a confrontation with a guard and ran, leaving his backpack. He also posted on Facebook, "Join me as I burn down the embassy." The U.S. attorney also says the 28-year-old social media contained threatening posts called for the assassination of President Trump. Julie Walker, New York.
A move to put the 10 Commandments on display in all Texas public school classrooms closer now to reaching Governor Greg Abbott's desk. That proposal clearing a major hurdle yesterday by winning preliminary approval in the state's GOP-controlled House. Also at townhall.com, there's a new challenge facing U.S. officials at the southern border.
Senator John Cornyn says the Mexican drug cartels have been using drones.
There's reports that they are using them against rival cartels in Mexico.
Cornyn says so far there are no reports of cartels using the drones at the border, but he says once their use becomes more commonplace, that could change.
They're very cheap and easy to use, and they're using them in a variety of ways. And so that's certainly a danger that they might expand their use to weaponize them.
Senator Cornyn was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Bob Agnew reporting.
Search continues in New Orleans for 5 inmates who broke out of jail a week ago. Now, authorities say 11 people may have aided those prisoners. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Summer is all about making great memories. Boy, I love getting out on the boat. I admit that one of my little joys in life is to get on a boat and ride around on Tampa Bay. But if you're living with pain, those future memories can be stolen from you. Here's a thought. Try Relief Factor. Let's see if we can get you out of pain. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free daily supplement designed to help your body fight pain. It's a doctor-developed formula made of natural ingredients. The best part of all, Relief Factor never masks the pain. It helps reduce or even eliminate it for good. Whether it's doing what I do, whether it's kayaking on a lake, running around with the little ones, or just chilling in the hammock with a good book, Relief Factor can help you feel better, move better, and do more of the things you love all summer long. So if you're ready to reclaim your summer and make some amazing memories, head over to ReliefFactor.com or give them a call at 800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF. Do it now and get their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. The number again, 1-800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF. Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor.
Jet engine maker Pratt & Whitney reaching a tentative deal with the union representing 3,000 machinists in Connecticut. Union leaders had been demanding improved job security, better wages, retirement bennies, and health care coverage. Members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers slated to vote next Tuesday on that revised contract offer. The American University of Baghdad has celebrated the graduation of its first cohort of students at a campus that was once a palace built by Saddam Hussein. Authorities say they hope the graduation will end up marking the beginning of a new era in higher education in Iraq, rooted in openness and international academic standards. The university was inaugurated in 2021. Some Americans say they're sad to see the penny go, but each penny cost 4 cents to make. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Memorial Day weekend as our nation remembers those who gave their lives while serving in the armed forces. Military affairs analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis says Memorial Day traditions date back 150 years.
The first celebration of Memorial Day was really called Decoration Day, which dates back to a declaration made by General Logan, the commander-in-chief at the time, in 1868, General Order Number 1. And basically it says it's designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, in other words, the American Civil War.
Well, meanwhile, the U.S. military spent more than $6 billion over the last 3 years, that to recruit and retain service members already on active duty. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show here. And when it comes to mortgages, I only trust the team that's helped me and my family more than once. Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans. These guys are friends, believers. They've built a company on biblical values that actually puts you first. In today's economy, with everything costing more, you need a lender who can help you make smart, strategic moves when it comes to real estate. Need cash for home improvements? Thinking about a HELOC or a refi to consolidate debt? Well, Fellowship Home Loans can help you do it faster and for less. Why? Because they're a direct lender, not a broker. No middleman, no unnecessary fees. That means fewer hoops, less waiting, and real answers from real people who care. Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or just exploring your options, Fellowship Home Loans will tailor everything to your unique needs. Get started at fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Wow, didn't even cue up any extra music because I'm so worried about getting everybody done here. And we're back with Tim on the phones. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, real quick. I know you get a lot of callers lining up there. Yeah. This whole thing I want to say real quick. This whole thing, Doge and just the con job. And I hope David hears that.
Yeah, con job. I heard it. It's all a con. It all is a con.
It is. Those stands for Department of
Government Efficiency, which is a renamed Obama office.
No, it stands for Department of Opulence, Gold, and Elegance. and I mean, $45 million for a parade when he's supposed to be saving money.
Man, that's just a toilet seat. That's a screwdriver on the SR-71. This is a deal.
Yeah, come on, man. But anyways, $1 billion get a $400 million airplane renovated. When we're getting Boeing.
Boeing. Remember the crazy thing about Trump's Air Force One is he got it through and approved and paid for the last time he was president. That's at least 4 years ago, and they haven't been able to deliver. So here's a plane.
Well, see, that's part of the con job. Trump tried to do it again because there's no way in the world they're going to get that plane retrofitted, and then the time he had left in office, strip it down.
Yeah. You get to start with a working aircraft, though. You get to start with a working aircraft, so that's not too bad.
From scratch.
Yeah, I mean they've already got the plans and stuff. They strip it down to metal like they would do anyway, and then furnish it up and put all the secret missile defense and all that cool stuff in it.
But what they'll tell people is that when we strip down an airplane and add something new to it, is a new airplane. I mean, all the
right, and I'm cool with that. Look, buddy, if you're Tim, if your grandfather says, "Hey, I've got this '68 Camaro," and you say, "Thanks, Grandpa, that's the greatest car ever, but the brakes are garbage, and I'm going to switch out the brakes, and I'm going to put this there, and I'm going to put this there, and I'm going to switch it over from 2 double pumper Hollies to some sort of fuel injection." Well, yeah, you've remade the car, but you started with a car. So that's still a good thing.
Well, the other thing about appearance, Dr. Dean, as well. the parents of the whole thing. So Donald Trump should have turned it down. Say, yeah, okay, I appreciate it, but no, I can't take this. It looks bad.
Yeah. Do you know you've been to Arab countries, right?
Oh, no, not that far yet. Nope.
Okay, well I have,
Well,
and what happens when you refuse some hospitality or a gift? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, actually, I think it was rude of Saudi Arabia for even suggesting this because
no, it was Qatar.
Well, Qatar would it was. They know there's one on the line coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's very disrespectful for them to put the president on the spot like that.
Okay.
But, I'll just go. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, and hope to catch you next week. And if I'm on in between, I hope to catch you then too. Thanks so much, Tim. And we're jumping right to the phone and saying, "Hey, caller, how are you?"
Hey, Dr. Gene.
Hey, what's going on there, Professor Ed? What's happening in your neck of the woods on this bank holiday weekend?
Oh, not much. Watched the Indianapolis 500. And,
was it amazingly exciting?
It was. It really was.
Good.
I like the strategy that the winner used. He caught the guy that was leading, caught him by surprise, and that was fun.
Well, that drifting and stuff, it's just amazing. I've never been to even a NASCAR race, but I've had lots of people tell me about it, and my geeky friends are like, first thing you need to do is you need to get you a Baofeng radio, and I'll help you get the frequencies all put in so you can listen to the pit crews talking and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's sort of cool. And it's so fast, man. You're there, and little tiny bits of rubber fly up from the track and hit you. And I'm like, how far away does that happen? So no, it doesn't matter. You're going to get hit with little pieces of rubber. What? So I've never been to a NASCAR event either. So
and it's loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very loud. But I like car racing, all kinds of car racing. I like especially the sports car racing, like Sebring and Le Mans. Those high-powered sports cars.
Well, the crazy thing is the only reason I know anything about those tracks, like Laguna Seca and stuff like that, is from racing games from the 80s.
Oh, is that right?
On the PC, not on a console, on a personal computer.
Yeah. I don't keep up with it as much as I used to, but back in the day of Ford versus Ferrari, I just kept up with it. Loved it and loved the duel. And sports cars. Thing about the sports cars is they like the 24-hour Le Mans. They're like real cars. They race in night and day.
Yeah, in the rain. Can you imagine that? Your last 18 hours in the rain, in misty rain.
Yeah, they had a 1 hour delay at the Indy race today because they had a little bit of rain. No, the sports cars would race.
Yeah. Have you seen the thing where they drill in some of these tracks? Will get water trapped between the mercaptan or the asphalt and the surface of the track, or the structure of the track. So they'll drill a hole in it and it'll just spray water. Have you seen that?
No.
I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. I get the fun part of it. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. The reason it's been said that the reason that our actors do so well in sports car racing, James Garner,
Steve
Paul
McQueen.
Newman, Steve McQueen, yeah. Paul Newman was actually part of the team that won Le Mans with him as a driver, is because they are used to driving fast on the LA freeway.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I used to live in Atlanta. It's a different story. I mean, I had I got the day that I took my hard tissue pathology exam, I got hit from behind, and I ended up, it wasn't enough to total the car, but my insurance payout was like $7,000 for the damage of the car, and I ended up selling the carcass of the car. But I had a Honda Accord with a 5-speed. I was like a F1 driver in that little tiny car.
Yeah, my my little Mazda Miata was.
I would have never pictured that in a million years. That you're a Miata person.
Oh yeah.
All right, hold on.
The other 39 states that charge state income tax? Does your state claim you owe them any amount of back taxes? Or have you not filed in years? Is your heart pounding because you know they're wrong or you just don't have the money? Don't fight the state income tax board alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you. The state is much more aggressive than the IRS in collecting taxes. They have the power to take your home, your car, your driver's and business licenses, even garnish your wages, freeze your bank accounts, and go after your spouse. Solve all your income tax problems permanently and keep more of your hard-earned money. Make this 100% guaranteed risk-free call right now.
800-668-2493. 800-668-2493. 800-668-2493. That's 800-668-2493.
All right, that was a strange hiccup, and we're going to drop this out and bring Ed back up. Thanks. I would not have pictured you in a million years to be a Miata driver.
Oh.
I just didn't picture it. I didn't picture that.
My dad had MG when we lived in Germany.
Uh-huh.
And I remember riding around with it. I was just a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that. I loved that experience, and it stayed with me. And so I became a sports car guy ever since.
Did you do any club events or anything like that? Were you part of a?
No. But I did own a Triumph TR3 and a sold that, and years later I got a Mazda Miata, which is what English sports cars are supposed to be.
Except reliable. Did you have any problems with the Miata?
No.
Yeah.
The Miata was great, but the Triumph just broke down every other week.
Some of these cars have like a positive ground. And that's one of the jokes about our British friends about their the reason they like their beer warm is because they have Lucas air or refrigerators, and the electrics are so horrible.
I can believe it. But anyway, Dr. Gene, I wanted to ask you about our president's latest ambush meeting with a world leader.
Would that be the head of South Africa?
That would be him.
Well, there is a thing, and this is one of those things, even with esteemed Joe Wilson, when really at a breach of decorum, he said, "You lie," to President Obama, which in my imagination is outside of his normal character and was a mistake. But when somebody is in front of you, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you as a human being out circulating in your normal life, but when somebody is in front of you and lying to your face about something that you know, man, it puts you in a weird position. It really does.
Yeah, I know. The president of South Africa was weird position when the president.
Yeah, he was.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. The president of the United States lied to him and to us.
How?
About
tell me the
what's
lie.
going
Tell
on
me
in
the
South
lies.
Africa.
Tell me the lies.
Okay, he said Trump showed these pictures up on the screen of all these dead bodies. They were dead bodies of white people, but it was from the Congo, not from South Africa. And he was saying that it was part of the genocide in South Africa. There is no genocide going on in South Africa of white people. It's a lie.
Okay.
Your response.
Oh goodness, I think in a lot of this comes from back in the year 2000. I had when I right after I'd taken the universal licensing exam and passed it, I rewarded myself by flying to England and Wales by myself. The only first time I'd ever gone anywhere just totally by myself without knowing anybody. And coming back, I was in the international lounge or international waiting area at Gatwick, about to fly back to Atlanta. And I was seated in proximity to this South African couple. And I think we've talked about this before. And it's hell on earth. And the husband, his father and mother had a big farm. And then all the brothers and sisters, I think there were 7 of them, they all had farms. And things got so bad, and the murderous, the way things work over there, they all basically gave up their farms except for the parents, and everybody moved in with the parents because you could not even leave your house. Because if you leave your house, someone will break in and claim it and then kill you when you come back. So it's not hard for me to believe the kill the boar, kill the farmer stuff. And again, because I don't have television, the only way I see these things is mediated by the internet.
Are the farmers, the white farmers in South Africa, being killed in any numbers that can anywhere be close to being called a genocide?
Well, I think when you're calling for some group that you can identify at 1,000 yards to be eliminated, and you're killing people, yeah, I think I would count that.
Who's they are calling?
Oh, I would think that would be the government of South Africa and the bad actors within it, like the guy that was leading the 100,000 plus chant about "kill the boar, kill the farmer" in a sporting. He's a member of the government. He's a member of one of the parties. He's it would be like
one of the parties, not this party though.
Right, really. But he has a position in like the legislature or something. He's not it's not you or me. It's somebody that has a position and has power and has purchase.
How about the photograph? Is the photograph of all those dead bodies was that in South Africa?
Well, I am going to have to plead total ignorance because I did not see that at all. But again, I'll go look at it. But if you say wait, if you say it was from a different genocide, fog of war type stuff, yeah, that stuff like that happens all the time.
Well, would you say the president should be careful about the things that he puts his imprimatur on?
Yeah, 100%. And he should have sent Caroline Leavitt out afterwards if there was a big error, like, oh, that actually came from Congo. He should have had her say, oh, and one of the pictures got inserted was really from Congo. But here's the, if there is a...
Well, tell me this, Dean. Mm-hmm. Tell me this. He is revoking the asylum thing for all these Venezuelans coming into the United States. Now, the Maduro government is, killing a lot of its political opponents.
Well, here's a crazy thing. The second, wait, the second
they have a legitimate claim of asylum, and he's keeping them out.
And you believe that, and that's okay. But the second they cross into Colombia, or they cross into Ecuador, or they cross into Brazil, or they cross into any other nation state that's not hunting them, that's it.
Now,
that's where you're.
The last time, Gene. The last time I checked, South Africa doesn't border the United States. So these white farmers come into the United States.
And so what did they do, Ed?
What did they do?
Yeah, how did they wait. But how did they do that? They went to a US embassy or a US consulate. They filled out the paperwork and they did they did. And they did. That's how they were able to be vetted. Wait, stop.
Why aren't they allowed to do that?
Let them do it. Let them do it.
Trump says they can't come in.
Well, he's not taking Venezuelans right now.
Right.
And that's okay.
But what is the difference between the Venezuelans and the South Africans?
Well, the South Africans are being hunted because of their race alone, and it's been and this is a thing, that both the United Kingdom and the United States had problems with South Africa being on the wrong side of the apartheid stuff. So I think we have more responsibility in South Africa than we do in Venezuela.
Well, if they're being hunted down in these great numbers, like you say, seems like the evidence should be easy to find. Seems like you shouldn't have to present phony baloney evidence, wouldn't you think?
Oh, you about the wrong picture being inserted?
The South Africa.
Yeah, well, that's a thing. Also, remember that it's not. Does Trump even have a cell phone? There is a staffer that put these things together, and you have.
Let's brainstorm this, Gene.
Well, the clock is ticking, but go ahead.
Let's brainstorm this. What's the one difference that you can definitely point to between these white South Africans that are being allowed in and these Venezuelans that are not?
They followed the procedure? They didn't storm the gate?
No, because a lot of the Venezuelans have been trying to follow our procedures.
Have they done it?
A lot of people have.
No. I mean, is that you're making a statement of fact, and I don't think you know that, because I know I don't know it, and I know there's no way I could know it.
I think I do. I follow this.
Okay. Do you have Venezuelan friends that are telling you this?
A lot of people with legitimate asylum claims are being kept out, and the only difference is, I hate to say this because I hate.
No, you don't. You don't hate a second of this part that's coming. You don't hate. This is the bull is tired, and the field of battle in the stadium. The bull has dropped its head a little bit, and you're going to slide the short sword right in. This is not. I so regret this. I'm so sorry to have to bring this up. This is not the case, Ed. You're sad that it happens. You're sad that it happens.
Well, I have actually defended Donald Trump on the birther thing. A lot of people are saying it's because of racism, and I said, well, hold on. You don't know that Donald Trump wouldn't say this about a white Democrat. And so I've defended him on this.
Well, that's awesome.
But this, I cannot find any other reason.
All right. I'll do some. How about this? Between this time and this time now and this time next week, I'll dig up some stuff. I'll find something. I'll reach out to my foreign service people.
Because if you do, you're doing a better job than the Trump spokesman that was on Howard Kurtz's show today.
Oh, and what channel is that on? I'm serious. I don't know.
Fox.
Fox. Okay. And what
Fox News.
Is that like Fox News Sunday or what? What is that?
It's Howard Kurtz has a show on Fox News on Sunday.
See, I didn't even know that. But thanks a lot, Ed. And we're going to jump to our next caller. Hey, caller, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Gene, how are you?
I'm doing great, Nick. But we're going to have I'm sorry to have taken you. Hold on just a little bit. We'll make it through this bottom stuff, and you and our next caller will get on in the next segment. Thank you so much, Nick. We'll be right back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. President Trump says he will hold off on promised 50% tariffs on the European Union until July 9th. EU negotiators have been asking for the extension as they come up with a better deal for the president. Mr. Trump says, quote, I received a call today from Ursula von der Leyen, president of the European Commission, requesting an extension on the June 1st deadline. He says he agreed. Ukrainian officials say a huge Russian drone and missile attack targeting that nation for a second straight night. At least 18 people have been killed, and authorities say dozens more wounded in the early Sunday morning attack. Many of the victims were civilians. A 28-year-old U.S.-German citizen arrested for attempting to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Israel, Joseph Neumeier, has been returned to the United States. SRN News.
Hey, honey, I just picked up your dad's meds at True Pharmacy.
Great. I hate that he can't read the small print on the bottles anymore.
No worries. John put on new Script Talk labels.
What's that?
It's a special label on your dad's prescription bottles that comes with a little listening device. And when he puts the bottle on it, the device reads the whole prescription label out loud.
Wow. How much does that cost?
That's the best part. Script Talk is free. True Pharmacy, the pharmacy that truly cares. Come see us at our new location at 623 Beltline Boulevard or Triangle Pharmacy in West Columbia.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia, your premium cigar retailer in South Carolina. We're constantly restocking our favorite brands and always getting new things in for you to try. If you're new in town, we pride ourselves on being the friendliest hangout in town. Come on in and check us out. You're still at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard in the same plaza as the Melting Pot. And if you're new at cigar smoking, one of our friendly staff members can walk you through the humidor and find something you'll like. So stop by Colonial Village in Columbia.
All right, well, we cleared the deck by accident, but we're back with our friend Nick, and there's Nick, and the music's gone, so go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, Dr. Gene, I just have a few things in response to a few callers. As first as Tim. You know, Tim, I like you, man, but I get sick and tired of hearing you talk about how Donald Trump had 4 whole freaking years to end the whole debacle in Afghanistan, in the Middle East in general.
But he also had 2 impeachments. So maybe if they hadn't impeached him, maybe he would have had the ability to get things done.
Yeah, but more to my point was, you know, our favorite half African American, maybe birther President Obama, he had 8 years uninterrupted with a majority, a super majority, and he didn't do anything but import more terrorists, open the border, and send more money to kill more non-white folks on the other side of the world. That's what all gets me, man. I'm sorry, Bo, but he had 8 years. So what's your excuse for that? Because all you can say is, you know, Donald Trump didn't do it. Donald Trump, no, he didn't, and then Joe Biden didn't do it either. So what's the problem with this?
100%. But that's whataboutism. That's whataboutism. Whataboutism. You didn't know that, Nick? That's whataboutism.
Yeah, I get it, man. And I'm sorry, like I said, I mean, and it upsets me a little bit when I hear, I mean, I like all the callers that call in, and And Kevin has often commented on people's comments like, "Oh, that sounds a bit racist." And I'm going to have to call out my favorite caller, Ed, and say, "Buddy, you sound a little bit racist." Because
But he's not. And that's
if you don't like white folks, I'm sorry. If you're racist against your own race, which you perfectly can be, you're welcome to be. There was like 50 white people got into America, and it's melting your brain down. I'm so sorry for you, buddy.
Well, Nick,
because it's my friends will say, yeah, you can be same race racist. There are black people who beat other black people.
Well, there are lots of Jewish folks that hate other Jewish folks and hate themselves. That's the self-hating this person, the self-hating that person. That's not outside of our understanding about how some things work. But yeah, the thing that I noticed most, and I only saw the clips on the interwebs, and it was families. It was a guy married to a woman and children. Sort of the opposite of what we've had over the last 4 years at the southern border, when it was military age men and occasionally children for sex trafficking and women for sex trafficking.
It wasn't occasionally. Right now, we're still missing
300,000
minors, brown minors, Ed, not little white minors from Africa or Sweden or Norway, brown people, Mexican people who don't speak English, who come over here and just want to clean our toilets. They just want to make our beds. They just want to polish our shoes. The good people, not those uppity white folks from Sweden or Africa, but the good people. 300,000 of those good people's children. Where did they go, Ed?
Yeah.
Where did they go? Who is keeping them in a basement somewhere making snuff films?
Yeah, I was about to say there's a recent report for some dark web woman talking about that's a thing that's going on. That is a thing that the murdering of children
was come here with an opportunity, and what did they do? They got trafficked.
Yeah.
And in genocide. What about 1994? I think there was a small genocide in Rwanda. It was Hutus and who was it? The Hutus and
the Tutsis, maybe. I can't remember if that was.
What did President Clinton do? What did the first African American president do? Nothing.
Let it happen.
In fact, he apologized for even bringing it up after he met with one of the leaders. Was like, "Oh, that's internal business." I mean, yeah, I remember that. I remember, there was all kind of evidence. I mean, they took over a radio station in Rwanda, and they were like, kill all the Hutus or the Tutsis, whichever one that was had to control the radio station. But they were, just hacking each other to death with machetes. I mean, nothing as civilized as a nuclear bomb. I mean, this is just good old biblical bloodletting here, man. I mean, so yeah, and genocides. I mean, what about Israel? Is that a genocide? I mean, do we have enough evidence to say that one of our Middle Eastern friends is trying to wipe out a race of people? Now, for me, I have some sympathy, but at the same time, I'm more worried about why we have authorized agents from another government embedded in our political system, such as the AIPC. That bothers me more than what another country does with their own people. So
yeah,
but it's all about.
I mean, it's just crazy, and that's the stuff with Thomas Massey comes out about AI PAC and all this other stuff. Pat Buchanan made some statements about how that works. Well, let me go, Nick. I'm so glad that you were able to get through, and I'll be here next Sunday, I think.
Yeah, well, let me say one more thing.
Okay, not a problem.
There was one time, there were two Democrats that put American citizens into prisoner of war camps in the 40s, and that was not a Republican. That was
the imperial president, FDR.
Yeah, it was Woodrow Wilson and FDR. So yeah, we've got to watch this Trump guy because he wants to genocide all the people that aren't white. So let's be on our toes.
All right. Thanks so much, Nick.
Let's be on our toes.
All right. And we're going to jump to the phones and say, hey, caller, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing better because you're on the phone. Tell me your name.
Robert.
Oh, good to talk to you, Robert.
Hey, would you care if I talk about some like local politics?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, like I'm a Republican. I'm not really a Trump guy. I think Trump's really good, but he'd be better if he could shut his mouth. You know, I'm one of those types.
Yeah,
but,
well, and I say you're 100% right, but
yeah,
you get
a lot of people.
You get the negatives with the positives. I think it's a package.
Yeah.
You don't get to separate that part out.
Here's my question: is Nancy Mace as good as Republicans can do to replace McMaster? I mean, I don't understand it. It's like, I mean, that's the predominant name you hear.
Oh, the deal.
The next line, but I'm like, where's Trey Gowdy? It's like Trey
Gowdy is gone. Trey Gowdy messed up in the Congress so bad. He unfortunately, I've got a picture of me and him together. I loved Trey Gowdy until I found out that he didn't do what he could have done. And
okay, see, I wasn't aware of that. But I mean, there's got to be somebody better than Nancy Mace.
Well, on one hand, it's really, really early. On the other hand, she is landing body blows on our Attorney General, who is a good person. He is a good, smart person.
Yeah.
And at some point, you're like, man, the only thing I think she could do better to get free media is actually wrestle a bear. She's getting tons and tons of free media. And then I have friends of mine that are like you, saying, is that the best we can do? And in my brain, I want to go, well, the candidate the most likely candidate we have has not revealed himself or herself, but I think she's going to suck up. I'll give you an example. So I was a Rand Paul guy, and I think he's I went to the presidential debates when they were here in Columbia. I thought Rand Paul was going to clean up because he was, in my mind, the smartest person in the room, and he was the most principled person in the room. But freaking President Trump gobbled up all the oxygen. It was completely different. And this sort of schoolyard bully thing, which especially in the very beginning, I was like, this is very distasteful. It worked. So it's like,
definitely.
It's like the negative campaign ad. Everybody says, we hate the negative campaign ads. We're not going to do they work. The whole reason you do them is because they work.
I mean, the other person does look like a wuss because they're not defending themselves, So it's like, if you let that person run over you, you're going to let other people run over you,
Well, here's
when Bernie Sanders gave that speech, and the two black ladies were out there talking about Black Lives Matter, and he just stood there and took it.
Yeah, they jumped up at the podium. So that's a thing in the George H.W. Bush. The Clintons were scoring body blows after body blows, and his advisor were saying, "Look, you are the president of the United States. You cannot get down in the mud and fight with them. You're just going to be a muddy, failed president." But when the other side is on attack, and you're not answering the thing, the people, and now in this case, maybe the South Carolinians go, man, maybe they're weak. Maybe this person really is a weak person. I mean, I don't know. And this is a joke, me speaking as a voter. I don't know much about this Nancy Mace, but man, she fights. If she fights for me half as much as she fights for herself, I think that makes a difference.
I don't know much about her politics. Is she a Trump disciple where Trump's just
no, the other way. She's the only surviving Trump critic. She I think voted for impeachment. I think she's the only one that survived.
Okay, I thought she was a Trump disciple.
Okay. No. She is. If she is a disciple, it's after he could not be beat. So when it mattered, she was not.
Okay, is Trump back to lieutenant governor, or does nobody know who Trump's going back?
Well, that's
Trump going back. Who's ever going to leave?
I don't think he's weighed in on South Carolina, and my assumption is that his connection to Governor McMaster is so strong that he might stay out of it and just endorse the person that makes it through the primary. He might not get into South Carolina as a solid Republican state. Might not be worth him spending any political capital on in picking who's going to run us.
I hope it stays like that. But I mean, you see all these transplants every day, and like I don't mind people coming as long as they pay taxes. But it's like, leave your politics behind. There's a reason you moved to Florida. There's a reason you moved to Texas. You moved to South Carolina.
All right, hold on. We'll let you finish up at the beginning of the next segment. 803-799-8255 on the Groucho's Deli in-studio hotline.
Lots of plumbing companies out there. Few are truly local. Time to discover the difference with Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. See, when I faced plumbing woes at the Cohen home, Josh and his dedicated team, well, they were my go-to solution. They make a commitment to exceptional service. They arrived on time, clearly detailed all the costs and procedures, and efficiently handled all my repairs without any surprises. These days, how often do we complain about a lack of customer service out there? With Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning, these folks are professional. They're courteous. They're skilled at what they do, and they've earned my trust, and they've earned my recommendation to you. From urgent repairs to the tankless water heater you've always wanted, they've got you covered. Visit franklinplumbing.sc.com or call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. Hey, you tell them Kev sent you from The Point. I'm pretty sure you'll want to thank me later.
Hey, it's Jay with the Cigar Militia. When I stop by a cigar store, I always look for my go-to cigars and stock up a few of those, but I also look for something I've never tried before. Well, at the Cigar Militia, we specialize in a lot of small boutique cigar manufacturers. Come in and try a Don Kiki by Karen Berger or a Makaji by Ty Williams. We are the Cigar Militia at 1410 Colonial Life Boulevard. Help us out, stock up, and review some of our boutique brands.
So we're bringing our new friend Robert back on. Thanks for holding on during the break.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you worried about all the transplants going everywhere if they don't leave their politics behind?
Well, it's a big
worry me a little.
So on 95 in Florida in the 1980s, and I was in high school then, so I thought it was really funny. There was a sign on the side of the road that said, "Yankee, go home, but leave your daughter." Now, my friends, like David the scientist, has moved across the river and moved into Lexington County. When I was more involved day to day with South Carolina politics, Lexington County was my favorite place because that's where all my tax nut friends were. That's where all the United We Stand, Ross Perot people were. That's where all the people that would stand up. And if you said, hey, we're going to hold a symposium, and my boss actually had a plan to do away with state income tax in like 5 years, we could have gotten rid of it. It's that easy. But that's right. The free Lexington County. I was corrected. The free county of Lexington, I think, might even be better. But now, so many people have moved from Connecticut, New Jersey, and Hoboken type folks. They're floating bonds to build a baseball stadium and stole Columbia's mediocre baseball team. They floated bonds to build green space and bike lanes and things that would have never in a million years happened in Lexington County of the past. So, this is a horrible thing to say, but it's absolutely the truth. Demographics is destiny. So if you change your demographics, you're going to change the political will, and you're going to change the whole destiny of where. And there are a lot of people that are cool with it. There are a lot of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th generation Lexington County people that like great grandpa and grandma. They had a farm, and we've got 4,000 acres, and I'd like to have somebody buy it from me and develop it. No, that was opposite of how these people used to be. But the demand is so big, and it makes a difference. I have a buddy of mine that moved to Waxhaw, North Carolina, and he's really, really successful. And he lives in one of these monster, like 8,000 square foot houses in a neighborhood of these castle houses. And he and his wife and kids live in this great house. But everybody else on the block, Waxhaw is now a suburb of Charlotte. They're all Bank of America people. And there's a lot of conflict being really a guy from South Carolina, a really conservative guy from South Carolina, and this neighborhood that he's living in. And he said, look, if one of these jokers comes over here and starts talking about sausages and peppers, I think I'm going to have to jump across the picnic table and stab him in the neck. So they're cultural things. But the real problem is people's politics don't change based on their location.
They don't. And that's just what worries me, because basically, I mean, there's more Democrats than there is Republicans. Basically, if you lose Texas, game over the rest of the Republicans will never win again if you ever lose Texas, So it's kind of worrisome a little.
But that was sort of the promise. But Texas is a purple state until the Hispanic women came. So these this is sort of a crazy thing, but the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We need to tolerate. They made a pitch. We need to tolerate this illegal immigration because we need to put a downward force on the cost of labor. And these are our people. Look, they're culturally conservative. They're majority Catholic. They're this and they're that, pro-life, and all these things that we say we wanted. Well, when somebody is new to the United States and needing services, it's all gimme. Well, when that person who was working on a drywall crew has his own crew, and then the generation after that, where they own the company, and number 1, number 2, and number 3 sons are running crews in the company, and they go out and get married and start their own families, then the need has gone away. Because they don't need government support to take their kid to the hospital. They don't need government support to educate because they're active participants and own houses and they're paying their way. And so what's happened in Tejas is all these Hispanic women are like, well, now instead of being a hand up, you are actually competing with the cash in my family. You're taking from me. So I'm not a big fan of this leftist stuff. And you try to turn my little girl into a boy and my little boy into a girl. That's unacceptable. So now that a lot of people that are imported immigrants to the United States, once they become, you could almost say it, real Americans, they're fully involved and plugged in and think like Americans, the cultural things can come out. So the promise that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, that those type of people, that we'll call them country club Republicans, just tolerate it. It's okay. Tolerate the crime. Tolerate this. Tolerate that. We'll win in the end. Well, it looks like we're actually starting to win because of the cultural issues.
Yeah. That's a valid point.
So it's different. I mean, it's different. But, when Governor Newsom was being recalled, one of the reasons, without talking about criminality, one of the reasons that a recall can't work is all the good Californians are already in Texas. They're already in Nevada. They're already in Arizona. They're already in these other places. So you have created a situation where only the people that can jump. That's like our friends in Cuba. South Florida is filled with fantastically successful, rich Cubans. Well, the deal is in 1958, anybody that had any money, anybody that had any power, anybody that had the right level of initiative who wasn't someone that would benefit by the Castro brothers takeover, those people all left.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're getting these a lot of these traditional Democrat strongholds. I mean, how many congressional seats is California going to lose with reapportionment next census? I think South Carolina is going to gain one. I think Texas is gaining 2 or 3. It makes a difference, and people move around. And Robert, I tell you, you as a human being, there are votes you can take, and one vote is talking to your friends at work, like, I don't know if it's because I don't understand it or they're hiding stuff from me, but I don't feel comfortable with this. And you talk to your friends, and then there's the vote at the ballot box, and say, oh, okay, well, these are the people that I've been allowed to vote for, and so this is who I'm going to vote for. But the most important vote you can have as a human being is to vote with your feet. And you say, I can't run my business here. It's better in other places. I know it's better in other places, and I'm going to go there instead. And that level of, it's like the difference between an email and a phone call versus a letter. Somebody that sits down and writes something out to a Congress critter or other political person, that's respected a whole lot more than somebody that makes a call or sends an email, because the level of commitment is a lot bigger.
I totally understand that.
And so that's the deal. I think that's where we are, and things are going to shift around. This last election, national election in November, the Trump team started saying New Jersey's in play.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it, something that should be plus Biden 20 was plus 5. That's
now, how much of that was Harris, or do the Democrats really? Are they in a position where they can never elect the best white male person anymore? Do you think they're at that stage where
that's gone? So the real problem with our Democrat friends is that they have a coalition party. And this is the same problem with our Italian friends. They have like 40 parties in Italy. And so you build a coalition, and one group, the ultra greens, you say, okay, well, you can burn more fuel oil to keep your house warm in the winter. They pull out of your coalition, and then your government falls. That's sort of the position that the Democrats are in. How many trans people are there in the country? Handful. Truthfully, is it 1%? Probably not. So they have all these constituencies that they have to go to the mat for, but it causes them damage because regular folks go, whoa, you're really too connected. I don't want that. I'm a regular person, and I don't want that. What you're prescribing is the answer.
Yeah, she's a homemaker, in a suburban Georgia. She's the deciding voter at the end of the day. She's the one that voted for Biden last time and Trump this time.
Yeah. So I think we're winning on some of the cultural things, which are where we lose all the time. But I will tell you, Robert, is after Trump, all bets are off.
Yeah, that's just I want DeSantis. I think DeSantis would be good, but Trump's people, I hope they don't push for Junior. I hope they don't.
No, I don't think they will. Now, if Junior became governor of, but Byron Donalds is probably going to do it, governor of Florida, then that would be a different thing. But
do you think it's DeSantis? If you had to pick right now,
gosh, I'd say it's going to be Vance over DeSantis.
Yeah, but I mean,
all right, Robert, I gotta go. That's the music. So when Vance became the nominee, the victory was over
What's better for Columbia's
DeSantis.
local talk radio experience than a show all about Columbia? This is John Adams. We'll bring you great guests, great stories, history of Columbia, and wonderful business owners on Colatown every Monday from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Point.
Experience South Carolina's printing powerhouse. Professional Printers is your trusted partner, bringing over 30 years of expertise in print and graphics. From digital printing to web and sheet-fed solutions, we handle it all with a team of over 100 dedicated professionals. Locally owned and operated, we have 2 locations in the Midlands and serve our customers with pride, ensuring top-notch service and quality in every project. We do it all, including storage and promotional products. Visit ProPrinters.com and elevate your printing experience with us.
The only afternoon local talk radio in Columbia is the